Let's talk about the Starfire movie in my DC cinematic universe. So we start off, and it's going to be Starfire suffering traumatic flashbacks to her origins before she arrived on Earth. She's going to be grappling with this stuff for a little while, and she's going to decide she needs to face her past, and she needs to locate and go back to the planet of Tamaran. So she goes to Vic, Cyborg, and because he has boom tubes now, he opens one to like the closest to her sector of space that she can possibly remember, and then she is escorted by Green Lanterns closer, and then finally she goes on by herself the rest of the way to her planet. And when she gets there, the planet has been decimated beyond recognition. The people are living in squalor, while the royal palace is like a fortified paradise. There's an artificial storm that surrounds the whole planet, like roiling black clouds, completely blotting out the sun, which means that the native Tamaranians can't absorb solar radiation, which is one of their biggest food sources, and also the thing that allows them all to fly. On Komand'r's home planet, the inability to fly was always seen as a horrible disability, and now Komand'r, Kori's sister, Blackfire, who has become the queen since then, she couldn't fly when she was born, and so she was always viewed as horribly disabled. And so now, by keeping this perpetual storm around the planet, she is forcing the planet's population to live with the disability that they said she had. So Tamaran had a whole bunch of buildings that were specifically built to be accessed by flight because it was just such a common thing that all of the people had. And so now, really shabbily added like ladders and safety rails and things have been added in, and a whole bunch of the city's populace, like the planet populace, is now living on the actual surface of the planet below everything. To make things worse, the planet's surface has very violent, dangerous creatures on it, and straight up, I might make them the Rorfian Zopgar. I might make that callback. You've been warned. So Kori comes in to find, the planet all in ruin and all that stuff. She starts zapping things. She starts saving the day. The people all start thanking her. And slowly but surely, the people realize, wait a minute, aren't you the missing Princess Komand'r? And she's like, yeah, I am. And this is when she finds out that the queen of the planet now is her sister Komand'r. And Komand'r now has powers of her own. Now, Kori knew back on Earth, because the last thing she found out before she, freaked out, powers went out of control, pod crashed into Earth, all that stuff, was that her enslavement and experimentation by the Scions was actually the fault of her sister Komand'r. So now she gets to see that Komand'r has given herself powers since, and since getting powers, Komand'r used them to wipe out the Arkarans, the alien race, their neighboring planet that had been oppressing the people of Tamaran the whole time. Komand'r killed all of them, and now she serves as an even crueler dictator running the planet. And she has kept the Scions, the scientist experimenters, that kind of stuff, who experimented on Kori and gave her the powers. Komand'r has kept them on as her slave scientists, and she forced them to make the storm generator that keeps the rest of the people deprived from solar radiation. And in her private, awesome, luxurious palace, Komand'r has her own radiation generator so that she can stay fully powered up. Throughout the movie, Starfire will be flying up above the storm clouds to recharge in space before flying back down, so we don't have to worry about her running out of juice anytime soon. So as the whole thing continues, Kori eventually finds that there is a resistance fighting against Komand'r, run by none other than her younger brother, Ryandr, who now has a robotic arm. We find out he was also imprisoned and experimented on as well, but his powers are violent. She got really awesome superpowers. Way to go, Kori. Ryandr didn't get that cool stuff. His powers hurt him, and so the robotic arm is because when he used his version of Star Bolts, his arm exploded. Kori gets to catch up with Ryandr, and we get to meet his two wives, and it's explained that on the planet of Tamaran, polygamy, not out of the question. No one even bats an eye on it. In fact, he has a different mom than Kori and Komand'r. That's just how it is on this planet. And so he has two wives. But since Komand'r has taken over, she has outlawed polygamy. She is trying to enforce monogamy on this planet, and that's one of the big contentious issues amongst the people, is she's literally trying to tell them who they can or can't love. And so, rallying themselves together, Kori joins her brother's resistance, and they go invade the capital to fight against their sister. Kori and Komand'r have a big, like, DBZ level fight up in the sky as the powerless Tamaranians have an actual war down on the planet's surface. But it's all good. Good guys win, bad guys lose. After defeating Blackfire, Kori destroys the cloud generator that is keeping the cloud above the whole planet, and then Kori flies up into the clouds and lets loose all of her radiation at once in this explosion that looks like a fiery star, and she burns away the entire cloud cover, and the people of Tamaran can feel the sun on their skin again, and they all begin to fly. Kori is crowned the queen of Tamaran. Her sister is thrown in prison, and the very first thing Kori does is she elects her brother and his 2 wives as the prime ministers of the planet, which allows her the freedom to rule the planet, but also return to Earth and stay with the Justice League. We then see Kori pull out a little beacon, and she snaps it, and it turns out it's a boom tube beacon that Cyborg gave her so that she could basically program a fast travel point and let Cyborg know, hey, it's okay to come get me now. So Tamaran is free, Komand'r is queen, Blackfire is in jail, and then Kori goes to the Lantern Corps and she requests that they include Tamaran in their part of patrolled planets. She restores freedom to her planet and everyone is living a better life. And that is the Starfire movie in my DC cinematic universe.